Okay, so it's 4:20, and this is kind of trippy. Have I not noticed this before? Is this always there? Like my shadow's back there. It's joining us tonight. So anyways, I was like, that's weird. It must be just the way it's turned because I don't think it's normally like that. So, anyways, so let's just start with last night. Um, and I don't know. There's so many differences in my like my time or my pace. I don't know how to explain it because I used to be so much more fear driven. I used to be so much like I had to control this, I had to control that. Oh, what if that takes? What am I gonna do? Where am I going? I used to be a freak out. I used to be a total where I was told not only was I crazy and I lived in the daydream world and stuff like that, but I was very neurotic. When I came into the 3D world, it was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? I would freak out about everything. And all the shifts that would happen, I felt beat down. Like I was very much a victim too. That's why I can say from my own heart how you get the hell out of there. Because I lived a life like that. But it's because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to live the life that you live. That is what you came here to do. So oh yeah, the sky last night. Okay, so anyways, so at my pace yesterday, I don't know, it just seemed like this real relaxed pace. It seemed like, oh, that's a little different for me. Usually I'm such a, but I just felt like this relaxed pace. And so I got all ready to go and everything. My mom took some pictures. I don't know how to show you the pictures, so because there was a couple people who wanted to see the outfit, and I can send it to you. The picture I think is best. Of course, my eyes are shut. And my mom can't see anything. She's just pointing at things. So it was like some were just like my head's not there or whatever. But anyways, if you just want to see the outfit, you don't want to see my head. But then you don't see the hat, so you don't see the whole outfit. So anyways, yeah, that just came. It's kind of funny. You know, your mother-daughter relationship. It's a very complex relationship. All our relationships are a lot more complex than we think about, but there is so much complexity to the mother-daughter one, and especially if the daughter becomes a mother to another daughter. And that we have that a real congruent kind of thing in my family line. There's lots of, like I had all daughters, and there's other aunts and stuff that had all daughters and stuff. So there's every dynamic holds its own weight. And oh yeah, because she has some daughters not talking to her. And hey, are they around the same age? No, it's two different generations, two different motivations, two different programs running. Okay, so anyways, but you know, like growing up and stuff and never feeling like, you know, your mom doesn't care about you, she doesn't support you, you're the problem in the whole world, and all this stuff, you know, that you feel when you're a teenager. And because I mean, like I thought things were weird when I was a really little kid, but as the age as I went on, I really became distant. And because I was my home life was really crazy. My dad was well, my mom said the other day he was involved in some sort of cabal in the Dallas, and this is when Dallas was a lot smaller. But yeah, my dad was total Las Vegas gangster kind of guy, and he's like, he wanted people to know, like there was those little cabals or those little groups, and like I said, like these millionaires would come over to our house and stuff. But that's why I said that I learned a money thing from a perspective as a young person of like, money doesn't make you a good person. Like I picked up on that vibe. And so, and I don't know, I don't really remember why, I knew that. I don't know if because I was always listening, because I was always like, what the hell's going to happen next? I was always eavesdropping. I got in trouble for eavesdropping all the time. But it wasn't that hard, but you could tune in your mind and listen to conversation. And you learn that ability as a child growing up in chaos, because you don't know what's going to happen. So you start being able to tune in and listen. And so I don't know if I overheard stories or how it was I came to this conclusion, but I remember being young and realizing, like, God, just because you have money doesn't make you a good person. So anyways, but the thing of, like, we even had this conversation since quarantine happened, where I was like, a cleansing went between my mom and I during that time. We bonded on some stuff. We talked about some real stuff and everything. And she had no idea that I struggled. She's like, she had a totally different perspective. She was like, she thought I was beautiful, living this beautiful, like, I had everything going for me. I was like, what? What? No. No. I was not what I was living. Oh my God. And so she's like, oh, I thought you were just like living like a model or something, because you're so how you looked. And I don't know, people will say things but not say them to me or something. People are a lot more likely to say something that's not nice to me, and people don't realize that just because you think someone's attractive, they got to feel that on the inside. And some of the people who start relying on that is, I don't even think that they feel that they are. They just take advantage of other people who think they are. I don't know that every girl who goes around acting like she's so beautiful really feels like she is. She's always comparing herself to everybody and trying to figure out, because you feel yourself on the inside. You know you're not just like this one thing. You're not just this beautiful thing. You got an ugly side. So everybody knows deep inside of themselves. So anyways, so you go through struggles and stuff. But anyways, so there was a whole thing of, this not really close. And so then when I started, during quarantine, when we started talking about the weird shit and everything, and we were more on the same vibration on a lot of the stuff, and so we could talk about it. And then I started talking about some stuff from when I was a kid. I just felt motivated to say some stuff, and it brought up some stuff to her and everything. And so I got to tell her how uncomfortable and awkward I was and insecure and stuff. And so I can completely relate to whatever my granddaughter is going through. And always when I look at her, I see me anyways. But because she's kind of long and lanky and awkward, and I just remember being the same way. Like, I totally relate. And so, and other people think like, oh, look at her, she's statuesque. I feel like I'm a puppet. His strings are all fucked up. So anyways, the people's perspective is how they are going to treat you. And so anyways, last night when I was getting all dressed and everything, and she was like trying to say like some nice things, but it was, I don't know, it's funny. And, but then see, like, I feel like I'm an echo of that. Like, I'm the same kind of thing. Like, I don't know, like, if I see my daughter come out and I just think, oh, she looks so beautiful. Do I go up and say, oh, you look so beautiful? I don't know. So, it makes you more mindful of that, to be more present and more say stuff that's going to be nice for somebody. But anyways, when I was getting ready and stuff and she was saying that, it was just making me think this whole long thing. And, but she said, some things like I thought was nice. And we've had some talks that I think are good and cleansing for us both. And so, anyways, I don't know why that was sticking out to me so much, because whatever, I guess all that stuff. But so anyways, so I got on my cute outfit, and my mom was really liking my outfit and stuff, and said some nice stuff, and then and took my pictures and stuff. And so then I left, and I was nervous. I was like, man, I haven't gone out and done something in so long. Like, I've been living in isolation for so long. It's like, oh my God. And plus that whole extra thing of like, the world's crazy right now, and you don't know what to expect anywhere, anything can happen. And it's like, but it still felt like I was led to go there. And so then, and this is where you don't want to also get stuck in, oh, I was there at the wrong time. I should have went at the right time. The right time would have been the right time. It's like, what time you go is the time you're supposed to go. You got to remember the transits, the little shifting around of all the different people. You have to be where you're supposed to be. There isn't a right time or wrong time. There's the time. And that is where you will be. Is you can't get away from it. And so the yeah, because all of a sudden I could see like the world's these shifts, and all of a sudden you get to this part, and somebody's not at the right time at the right place, the whole world falls apart. Like, it's done. Won't work anymore. Broke. So yeah, it doesn't go that way. So anyways, because that would just go into chaos. We've lost the story. We've lost the storyline. So anyways, that won't work. Okay. So, so there was a couple things though that were like, nerve-wracking, going back out into public. And I love getting dressed up, so that was exciting. But you oftentimes show up places very overdressed to other people. And and I've liked dressing up always. Like, even back when I was going out to punk rock places, like I dressed in vintage, like 40s style. I was really into the 40s dresses and stuff. And so that I just like dressing up. I just think, we lost it when we stopped doing that. When we stopped caring, when we stopped wearing hats, when we stopped, caring about what we look like. I think it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun to figure out, like, make up your little costume for going someplace and what you're going to wear and get excited about it, But people just like, just throw it on. And, it's not like I never just throw it on. I fucking live in loungewear. But, and I'll throw on a pair of pajama pants just like the rest of everybody to run up the store. I'm not going to, like, doll myself up to run in the store. But if I'm going to go out to go do something, I want to get fixed up. And so, anyways, that, and then going, not knowing people and stuff like that. So that was nerve-wracking. Going and driving downtown, not knowing what I was headed for. And the homeless crisis, too, is huge down there. But the traffic, just all the different stuff. So I was nervous, but I was overcoming. I was going to not let those things, these anxiety things, hold me back from an experience. So it's just like you override them. You overcome the obstacles. And some become bigger and bigger and bigger, and people can't overcome them. I mean, there's people who pull up to a restaurant and then can't get out and have to drive home. So you got to be, it's up in here how you build the obstacles and how you tear them down. And so you can keep building them and building them and building them, but you got to realize you're the one who's building them. You're the one with the mortar. You're the one out there sculpting. So you're the one who has to take control of what it is you're creating. And so you can start looking at it and minimizing, or you can look at it and go, it's bigger and bigger and bigger. Or you can keep trying to talk yourself down off the ledge and be like, it's not that big a deal. People do this every day, all day long. The person inside is not giving a shit. They're probably having an affair with the cook, and they're probably in a fight. They're not going to give a shit. And you got to really get yourself. See, the water just did a little burp. It's like confirmation. So anyways, that's kind of funny too, because it's like outside, because we do look outside of us all the time for confirmation, and we think that everybody is super focused on us, and most people are just focused on their own shit. So anyways, that but yeah, when you're going someplace, like, you got to overcome the obstacles, overcome the things that are creating your fear or anxiety or whatever it is you want to call it. And so and then I had to go and find parking and stuff. And then I did see that parking on the street. This is some bullshit, man, when you think about it. And I swear to God, I blame everything on the corporation. Motherfuckers. So in the street, which, even think about that. Like, how the fuck you charge us to park somewhere? You charge us just to take up this little bit of space right here? It's like absurd, really. And what we've put up with and what we've allowed these motherfuckers to do, because it's some bullshit. So anyways, but I did see, like, after 6, you don't have to pay for parking. Just in the daytime when they want you to come to work, pay your parking. But so after 6, you don't have to pay for the parking unless it's a weekend, I think. Maybe you do. But but Monday through Friday, it's just from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. But there's all these lots for you to go park. So I think people don't realize, like, you have to pay for the lots at night. Because I learned this a hard lesson long time ago. But you go park in the lots. They're everywhere downtown. And so people go park. It's like $30 to park for the fucking night. I've gotten so many tickets for that. I was like, fucking bullshit, man. And so anyways, so I went ahead and I went, right? And I get down there and I get this great parking place. Well, I get a great parking place because there's no people down there. It's like the whole down. And it was so funny because I kept thinking, well, the last time that I went downtown and it was St. Patrick's Day, it was insane. I swear to God, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know what the hell I was doing down there. I don't remember. Maybe meeting somebody for coffee or brunch or something. I don't know. But there was all these people everywhere. And you always run into people. Like, this town is like a city. It's like a big city, and it's grown a lot. But it still has got, like, if you talk about somebody, just figure there's somebody who knows them that's listening. That's just the way it is there. And and you run into people all the time. And that was one thing that I found so freeing where I was living, was that, I could go out and it was like, nobody knew you. Well, then after a while, you'll start running into people. Like, I kept running into that neighbor and stuff. That was so weird. So, anyways, let me think back, because I go off on these fucking, go to the end of the branch. I gotta work my way back. Where the hell was I? Okay, so getting to the place and getting good parking, and no places, like, there's not even any of the bars open, because where it's at is like this really central bar area. There's a lot of bars downtown, but there's a whole bunch in this one little corner. And so a lot of times there's just people all over in the streets. Oh yeah. And so this other St. Patrick's Day when I went down there, and I saw people, like, it's so crazy when you'll see people like that you could know them professionally or whatever, and then you see them out somewhere in shorts, drunk off their ass and stuff. It's like very different. So there's somebody who I had seen there. I feel sure of it, unless I'm just making it up in my mind. But anyways, it seemed like this total drunk fest of, like, shenanigans. Like, you got the bar truck, whatever, that little party bus truck that drives around. People sit on that drinking, and it's just like fucking party everywhere. It was 11 o'clock in the morning, so I thought it was going to be insane down there. I thought, man, these people just, with their drinking, they'll just, the drinking doesn't stop. And so I go down there and everything's just closed up. There's like no people. There's like 2 guys walking down the street, like old people, like they were probably out to eat. And all the bars are closed. I don't know, if they open later, But like I said, the last time it was like an all-day party. But it's a Monday, so I'm thinking, well, it must have been downtown. The last time must have been a Saturday or Sunday or something when I was down here on St. Patrick's Day. Because, yeah, Monday, was everybody going to call in sick so they can get drunk? And then I was thinking, I wonder, though, maybe it has really closed down a lot. Like, with all this shit going on in the world, maybe the party scene has really gotten less. Maybe it's not so prevalent. You know, maybe there's a lot more people like, I don't want to go drink, I don't want to go party, and not as interested. So I don't know, because, you know, this was my re-entry into the atmosphere. So anyway, oh, and look at my t-shirt. I love this t-shirt. And I got it the other day at the thrift store. And let me show you. Let me see if I can get up high enough, if you could see. So is this spaceman. He's in his whole little spacesuit. So it's like this, just this spacesuit, and he kind of lights up like this on this black t-shirt. And I just feel like it's so representative of us. Like we're just in this spacesuit out floating in space to have an experience. So anyways, that's what I was like, oh, I love this shirt. So, okay. So I'm just totally wheezy, that's for sure. And the sky's fucking weird as fuck, man. So fucking weird. Oh my God. I did a whole bunch of videos while I was out. I was like, and when you get under it, you cannot see some of this stuff. You don't see it the same as when you're driving looking at it. It is very different. And so I think a lot of people are just in their houses, not looking up, not looking out and stuff. And the moon's all over the motherfucking place. Like, the moon doesn't know. Well, I mean, you could not set your clock by how whatever's going on up in there. Like, no fucking way. It's insane. I just can't even believe it. Like, it would be over there, then all of a sudden it's right there. It makes no sense. And which side, this lamp over here that I have on has just that light bulb. Just one of those LED light bulbs, and it looks kind of like the moon, exactly, in the reflection of this picture. That's what it is, these LED light bulbs they got up there. Okay, so, fuck, I'm wheezy. So, anyways, I get to the place, and I'm expecting it to be like this party scene, and then it was like, oh, this is cool. So I pull in and get a parking place and stuff, and then, I'm going, and I mean, it's probably pretty early but the thing is that it was over at 10, like it closed at 10. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, I don't want to wait a long time and go. I would just go, and then I'll leave earlier. So the whole time, I kept thinking, well, it starts at 5, ends at 10, so I'll go at 6, and then leave like at 8. And so that's the time that came into my slotted mind the whole time. And so that's what I went with. So I get there, and I go walking up, and it's just like, so it like sounds quiet even. And I'm like, man, maybe they're not having the band or something. So I open the first door, and it's still kind of quiet. So then when I get up to the other one, then it was like, okay, so now I can hear there's music. And so when you first walk in, there's some tables right there. So at one of the tables, there was some people eating dinner. And the table next to them was some people eating dinner. And there was 2 empty tables. And then the bar is right here. So there was some people at these bar stools. I don't know, it was like a guy and a girl, or a guy and 2 girls or something, which was the same over at the first table with a guy and 2 girls, but I don't know. I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 bar stools right here. And then I think there's something in the way there. And then it's kind of like this little hall. And then it has these little rooms. So you can go in these little rooms for dinner. And so there's a couple of these rooms, and they're empty. And then the stage is right there. And the band was just these 2 guys. And one was singing and playing guitar, and one, I think, was playing the drums. And it was super, super dark. So dark. Like, there was no lights on the stage. And so, if there was, it was not much. It was really dark. And the music was like so fucking mellow. I was like, this is not dancing music, that's for sure. So I go out there and just dance and sway myself. But it was not even like, it was very, I don't know. Like if you went to like a small bar a long time ago, you just went and listened to Bob Dylan sit and just play guitar and just sing some poems. It was like, I don't know. And then there's the dance floor, and then along there is other tables. At the first table, it was like full of people, a whole bunch of people, and we're like older. They were like having dinner or something, and having drinks. This is all dinner and drinks kind of thing. And then next to them was another couple people. I think that might have been a guy and a girl. And then next to them, I think it was a couple, but it was like two girls, which I don't know if they're a couple, but it was two people. And then I think back here at this other table that can be really big is there was a couple other girls. And so I went, to try and look and see if this was if any of these people were that girl. None of them looked like her at all. But still, I tuned into her hair, and her hair was curly, and it was like blonde, but it had a second color, and it wasn't like a weird color. It was like I don't know, not like silver, but something, but it was two different colors. It was like yellow hair. And so I would think that I would remember seeing somebody with this curly hair with these two tones that would be like, oh, that's her. But there was nobody like that. I don't even think there was any girls that had bright blonde hair. And so, because there was nobody that even hung me up, I was like, nope, 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 nope. And so then at the bar, I walk in, and there's bar stools. Once you go past whatever this is, this barrier thing, it's like maybe a post or something, and then there's more bar stools. And so I thought that they were all full, and I noticed at the corner was these girls. And so I walked over, and I was standing in front of one of the rooms, and I thought, well, I'll just go in and sit. There's this one little single table. I'll just go in here and sit, because I couldn't see anywhere to sit. And then I was like, no, that would be so isolated. No. Okay, well, then I started looking, and I'm like, well, I could just go squeeze in over there and just go sit down. And then I like scan over, and then I see the bar stool, and it's like, oh, there's an open bar stool. So I just walk over to the guy because he's paying attention, and I said, is anybody sitting here? And he said, no, go ahead. And so then I see the girls, and then I realize, oh, they're snitty talking about me or something, because they're all doing this little like, and then they look over and see me, and then, you can tell when you walk up and somebody's talking about you. And so I had been standing behind them. So obviously they, probably thought, oh, what is she just overdressed? Like, where she thinks she, whatever, their little thing, what they found humorous or whatever. And so I sat down, and I kept thinking, this is so strange and so awkward. And like, these girls are sitting at the end of the bar, and I should have just asked the one, do you want to trade places? But they also knew the bartender, so they all kept talking, and it was very, I don't know, I just kept thinking, this is like, it's so 3D, everything's so 3D, like they're sitting there talking about just shallow shit. Everybody's just shallow stuff. The guy next to me, he never talks or anything. He's just this really huge guy, huge bald guy, and he's got a beer and a water and just sitting there, just slowly drinking. I don't know if I saw him take a sip. Maybe he took a sip while I was sitting there, but he was like not guzzling down his beer, but I don't know, it's probably $10 anyways. And he's just sitting there by himself drinking. And which, I don't know, that's a whole thing on its own too, because I don't know, maybe it's a way to convince yourself like everything's okay to not drink at home, but dang, it's way cheaper to drink at home if you're gonna drink like if you're gonna drink alone. Like, why not just go get a beer and just go home and pour it in a glass, and like, why go up there and pay double, triple the price? I don't know. I don't know. I just look at it like it seems like a waste of money. So anyways, but he wanted to sit there, I guess. It wasn't like he was chatting with anybody. So or maybe he was going to meet somebody, maybe somebody, I don't know, maybe he was there early, I'm not sure. So anyways, I'm just being judgmental. But but it would have made more sense if I was sitting at the end of the bar, because I would have been facing towards the band and listening to the band, because those girls were talking. So I'm like sitting here trying to look at the band and having to look straight at them. It's like they're blocking my thing, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. And then the more things that were happening with all of them, just, I don't know, it was just weird and awkward. And the music was just so mellow, and it wasn't at all like, I mean, it felt like I went to a couples kind of thing, like all these dates or something. It's real low light and quiet, and the music's real mellow, and it was not, well, I don't know, maybe it was all going to change like from 8 to 10 or something, but it seemed like that was the vibe. It was very just like mellow, go sit with your friends and talk and drink and listen to the band. It's like, no, I like to go and dance and lively and have fun. So yeah, it was not my scene at all. And so then I was sitting there thinking, well, how much time am I going to give this? Like, how long am I going to sit here and do this? It's like, so I'm going through the thing. Okay, do I want to sit here and just listen to this band? I don't know this band. I don't even know if one of these is her husband. I mean, and she's not here. And so I don't even know if, maybe she doesn't come all the time. Maybe she's home with their kids. And, so I'm not going to just sit here and wait like, oh, well, they'll show up and then I'll talk to them or whatever. It was like, and I'm not going to go around just looking for somebody to talk to anyways. I think things happen naturally. And so I was sitting there with the band, and I was like, man, this is not, it's just not my jam. This is not what. And then the awkwardness of sitting at the bar and these girls, and then I thought I should be sitting in that spot, but it was just so weird. Like, I don't know. It was like the feminist. It was like those kind of girls. They're not girls that care about other girls so much. They only care about the girls in their group. And they all have to agree with each other. If one of them all of a sudden says something different, she's excommunicated from the group anyways. And it's kind of a handsmaid tale philosophy or something. So, so everybody's out to get them and their reproductive rights. So anyways, I just, the whole thing, I just felt like, and, I sat there and think, why am I here? What am I here for? And then I thought, it could be something so simple as you sat down next to this guy, and this guy was coming there to have his last beer because he had given up on life and he was going to go home and do himself in. And you as a soul in your soul contracts, because they can be this little, you were going to come in and sit down, and the energy of you was going to bounce off of him and make him feel better, so that when he went home, he didn't do himself in. Because that's how some of us in these transits, that's how we pass each other by, is these super simple things. And you don't know like what you're doing in places sometimes, why this happens or why that happens. And the only times that you do know is like if you're triggered, and then you can be like, oh, I can see why this went on, because it brings up a lot of things inside of me. But other times, then it's just like, I'll be like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing here? I mean, what is this happening for? What am I supposed to, to me, it felt like, to know when I want to go. It's like, to think of like, what is the reason to stay? I don't want to stay. It's not my jam. It's not comfortable. I feel uncomfortable. Then I even started thinking about, it's so weird because that is when I went to go get my first crystals, was when I was going out, because I was single and I was going out all the time. This is before I got triggered. And I had healed, and I was, that was a part of my thing. Well, I'm just going out by myself. I'm not looking for anybody. I'm just going to go out and have fun. And so I was going out and going dancing and stuff, and I went here all the time. And let me think what I was about to say. Oh, yeah, because it was, and this is when I was hanging out with that cult, too, remember? My kids thought it was a cult because we all meditated together. And that was like, in that group, that's when I learned about the Reiki, and we did these group meditations, which I totally believe in. The power of prayer and meditation and stuff. But also, I don't see it as it's like putting out good vibes. But you can't just go in and change what is meant to be. Like, that's where people don't see. And it can be like in the power of prayer that we all want, we all pray towards somebody who is sick in the hospital and we don't want them to die. And then we all pray towards them, and all our energy goes and engulfs them. And then they all of a sudden realize, like, I don't want to die. And but whatever was going to happen was always going to happen. Like, we're not, I'm creating chaos in the universe, because that's how I see it. Is like, it doesn't make any sense to me how these people are always saying, like, about to jump into the timeline and creating these new ones and stuff like that. Whatever's going to happen is always going to happen the way it's going to happen. And the timing and everything is set. And so, anyways, where was I in this shenanigan? So anyways, it seemed like that was a part of my journey, of, figuring out when I want to leave and stuff. And also just being comfortable, like, even if these girls are sitting there, laughing at you or making fun of you, just to be like, whatever. And so, I mean, and that is kind of a thing too, especially if you get more dressed up than other people. If they feel bad, then they're going to make it like you're the weirdo. It just is the way it goes. So, anyways, so I left from there. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to stay. I listened to a couple songs. I was like, this is just, it's way too mellow. And, like, I don't know. I mean, if this is what the whole night is, like, is this what I want to do? How much time am I going to give it? So after I left, though, I started thinking, oh, well, they could come later, because 6 o'clock is pretty early. And I think I got there like at 6:20 or something. And I was like, oh, that was pretty early. Some people, are just eating dinner. They probably were going to come later. But that's where you start getting into the, no, I'm going to overthink this. Am I going to be like, well, I was just there at the wrong time. Maybe if I go back at 8 or something. And it's like, no. What is meant to be is meant to be. You just don't need to overthink it and try and just what is. And it's not, I mean, I can go back any Monday night. She said her husband plays every other Monday night, I mean, I can go anytime. So it's not like, I mean, I could go next weekend, like maybe her husband wasn't even there last night. I mean, both of the guys, I didn't really see her matched up very well with them, but I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know her or anything. So anyways, it was like, I'm not that worried about it, because I totally believe in what's meant to be is meant to be, and things have a time and space and all that. And so, but what I was seeing when I was driving was the fucking sky. Oh my God. I could not believe how weird it looked. Like, I have seen some weird skies where I am, like, just standing there thinking, like, in any moment, the sky is about to open up. Like, this is the weirdest shit. And just like the other day when I was standing out there just looking at it and just like, man, that is weird. But it's almost like this, you know, nobody even fucking sees it. But so this one, oh my God. So it was bright, bright orange, and but also this shimmering, this shining, like this light. Like it's so weird. But it also was these deep black clouds where there's like, it was weird too because it was supposed to just be cloudy. But then there started being these hailstorms. Just all of a sudden there'd be a hailstorm, then it would stop. Then all of a sudden there'd be a hailstorm, then it would stop. And me and my mom were like, that is so weird. What the hell? And so there was a couple of those, but it was, you know, it's not supposed to be rainy or stormy or anything. And so then, there was these huge black clouds, and on top of the black clouds would be these dark gray clouds. There was like these layers of clouds, and then there's just this bright blue sky everywhere. and you could see like all this blue sky, but these really dark gray black clouds. And then on this one side, it looked like the clouds were coming down onto the ground, and they were coming up, almost like this ginormous tornado was being formed. And it had all this orange and stuff. Like, you'd have to see the videos, but the videos never do the same as what you're seeing in person. It's so crazy looking. And like, it would look like it was in the middle of a giant fire, and this was this giant plume coming up of smoke, but it wasn't. It was like these dark clouds that had come down onto the ground, and then they were going up, and then there was these other ones that were like super, super dark, and then these super black, and then there was a whole nother thing over here. It was the weirdest looking shit. And I wanted to get all these videos, which now my fucking car's being tracked by the insurance company, and I mean, it is so intrusive. Oh, we'll save you money seeing that you don't drive anywhere, but we're gonna watch you every second of every day. Like, your phone's got to be on Bluetooth all the time. So they can watch all the time. They track you on, like, if you're distracted, if you speed, if you turn too fast, if you do that, like, every little fucking thing. I was like, man, this is very intrusive. So you can save some money. That's how like, all this stuff that they do is so, there's so much stuff against our rights to freedom. And so much about what we've allowed ourselves to be controlled by. And to save a couple bucks, it's like, man, it's so weird. Like, they've got total access to my shit and watching me and stuff 24 hours a day. And so, and I was trying to do these, like, as you're driving and stuff, it's like, oh my God, look at this. And, but you can't get the whole thing of what you can see. The camera's only picking up on this little thing. And it's like, God, it looks so fucking weird. And then as I was driving, I got to the part where, like, we were below the cloud thing. I was like, see, this stuff all looks so different when you are in it and looking up. It does not look the same. When you can look out and see it, then it looks, you see so much more. And that is so in the micro, macro of the world too. It's like all in your perspective. When you look out, you can see more. When you look back, you can understand more. And the present, in the right here, is the most limiting of what you can see. And it builds the most trust because you got to just be in the here and now. And in the here and now is where you define yourself, like where you learn from yourself. Just like, you know, I'm not going to, I mean, I got all dressed up for this, but I'm not going to just sit here. And it was all of like 20 people in the whole place. So it was like, and some of the girls didn't even appreciate my outfit. They're so busy, you know, snickering about me, whatever the hell their problem was. So anyways, so seeing these weird clouds, and which is kind of, so there's like, the other day I saw a video, and it was one of these people. So you have all these people, you know, some people talk to the angels, some people talk to God himself, some people talk to the Galactic Federation, some people talk to different alien groups, different collective, like all of these different people. Like, I don't know who the hell I'm talking to. And so I've said that before. I never thought to ask. So, by the way, what's your name? So anyways, I just been talking to them since I was a kid, and I don't know their name. And it doesn't seem to really matter much. And so anyways, but you got all these people who are, I always think of it as like the name dropping or something. It's like they're trying to give what they say more validity because it's coming from straight from God. Some of them, it's like straight from the big guy. And so I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. Everything you have to, the validity should come from your discernment, not because name dropping. It should become like, oh, well, this makes sense to me, or that doesn't make sense to me. So that's the depth to it to me. And so this, oh yeah, so you have all these people who are talking to the Galactic Federation. So I don't know if you go into, that hashtag group, if you go find that group, what all the conversation is. I'll just see these little things sometimes. And so this girl popped up. I've never seen her before. I don't know who she is. And well, if I've seen her before, it didn't ever stick out in my mind. But so she was talking about the Galactic Federation, and they said that they were going to be seen, I think by the 17th. It might have been the 15th. I don't know. It was like, I think it was, yesterday was Monday, today's Tuesday. I think it was supposed to be over the weekend. They were going to be seen. There was no more stopping it. This was it. The motherships were coming and they were landing, and that's it. And so obviously, it didn't happen. And so there's more now of talking about that, that they're all up there and stuff, which when the sky is clear out here and it's at night, there is shit ton of ships up there. There is a shit ton. There's a lot. You can just watch them. Some of them, you'll see like this red light that just all of a sudden, like a lighthouse kind of, but it looks real far away where you think, did I just see a red light blink? And then if you keep watching that area, you'll see it again. Like those ones, I think that they seem like they're further away. But so those red lights, they're something, because they're around all over the place. And then there's these other ones that are like these brighter ones. And those ones you can see like this shifting in color thing. Those ones are the ones to me that look like someone dancing. like souls dancing or something. So I don't know if that's more of an energy of where there's a bunch of them and they're creating a ship around them or something. Like, I don't know. Because there's definitely ships up there. And so, but people can create their own, like you can be just your energy and then turn it on, and create, what you look like or what's holding you, your spacesuit. You can just create it. And that's, higher vibration, which we're also higher vibration. We're just in a lower vibration. And it's just like we have more limitation in this vibration. And, but I don't know if that's the part of the breaking free is pulling into our real abilities. I don't know. And so, because I don't think that we need to feel bad like we weren't able to do it. We were in this really low density where it was a lot more difficult to do stuff, and it's got to go up. But it's crazy because the lower density is like your belief system, like because you believe you can't do it, so you can't do it. The more you believe in yourself and the more you work towards that, the more you start seeing like, I can do this, I can do that, this is normal, this is not normal. Like it's things that we think are not normal really are normal. And so it's this adjustment it's like a clarity into your perspective. And so anyways, there is tons of ships up there. I know that, I've said that for a long time, but it seems like there's more. Because before, when I was in Spokane, I used to see them all the time back when I was going to hang out with the cult. And I would see them all the time. And sometimes we would talk about them. And So I pay attention back then, and now it seems like there's way more. And so I do think that there's lots of ships, and you see people. Oh, the other day I saw one in Bellingham, a news report, and the news guy has got like this the skyline behind him, and as he's sitting there talking, a ship goes flying by real quick. So they are being seen, they are making themselves known, and they are all around us. I mean, I don't need somebody to tell me that. I can see that for myself. And so, but I don't know, how this is all going to go down. I don't know if there's going to be some landing and that's going to be our awakening or whatever. I don't know. And I know something big's coming, and I know that that's a part of it. A part of our evolution is to understand our connection to all these beings in this place and all that stuff. So we're going to have an evolution of our understanding, and I know that they're a part of it. And so the ships are all around us. So anyways, and they had said, well, they're going to land, and then they didn't land. And so I just saw girls saying, well, now, and it was a different girl. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on in the galactic channeling division of the awakening, because this was a different girl than the other one. And so she started reading her channel, and she said that they said that there was an interference, that they are there and they're trying to be seen, but there's something interfering. And so anyways, yesterday when I was seeing all those clouds and they were so massive and stuff, I thought, oh, I wonder if this, maybe this is the interference. Maybe they are trying to be seen, but they're just putting up all these big puffs of cloudy, smoky stuff so we can't see or something. I don't know. I would think that they could make themselves be seen no matter what. I mean, they can just land and take over the fucking ground. Which, the other day when I was talking about, in my mind, I was seeing like this Jetson kind of house. I was like, it's like, if you know what a yurt is. And so, but the one I'm seeing in my mind is like this yurt, kind of, because it's a round kind of house. But it's on stilts. And then I started seeing it. It's like, oh, that was the Jetsons' house. The Jetsons had a house like that. And then you just pull up with your little ship, your car, your hovercraft. And so you didn't have to park down here. You just pulled up and you got out and you went in the house. And all the houses were like on stilts. And they were up like these round kind of things. And so I was like, I think that we're going to build houses like that. I think we're going to have like cities or something where there'll be places like that. And it will go in places that are like the perfect kind of place to be up off the ground or something. And so I could like see it. And now I've seen it. And so, and now I'm on this thing of all these pre-built homes where I keep getting like these ads for these pre-built homes. There's some cool ass shit out there, and it's going for much cheaper. And so things are going to be changing. I'm telling you, things are going to be changing so much. And but there is all these houses that are exactly like what I was saying. It looks like, and they've got a community of them, and it looks like the Jetsons houses. They're totally up on these white legs and these round houses, and it's exactly, and I don't know how they get into their house, if they have to like be down here and ride an elevator up, they transport themselves, like I don't know, but it looks like kind of like spaceships. I was like, but I knew that we're going to be there's going to be a lot of changes in how we live. I saw another one, it's a pre-built one, and I don't remember who it comes from. It comes with all of the stuff. The guys said it didn't come with a fridge, but it comes with all your cabinets and everything, and you got to put it all together. But this one is all glass. It's like totally glass house. And how cool would that be to be like in a certain place with what is that called? A view. like if you have a certain view, but there's a lot of things of views that could be appreciated. I don't know. And being in the forest, that could be kind of creepy because there could be things watching you. Like you'd have to have your lights off, otherwise you're like a goldfish tank and they're watching you. Now I hear that song. They're watching you. Private Eyes. It's Hall & Oates, I think. So, anyways, I've been hearing that song. Like as soon as I'll start hearing it now. As soon as I start seeing it, and the other day it was going for like 4 or 5 days, just non-fucking stop, loud in my head, and I was like, "Shut up!" And then trying to block all that and stuff, like, because there's something weird going with the frequency. Oh my God, it is such a high-pitched, really loud, kind of penetrating sound, and it's come in a couple of different times. It's like a fucking weapon, I'm telling you. And I don't know if it's not everybody can hear it and they just all of a sudden feel it or something. And my mom is still being so dizzy and so like, man, what is wrong? What is wrong? And I want to be like, it's the energy, it's the atmosphere and stuff. But you can't say that even when somebody's awakening, they still have these total things that hold them into the three-dimensional world. And so, so physically, they look at it as more different. When I'm looking at it as more energetic and what's happening in the world. So anyways, I'm not going to try and convince her like it's the energy, she'll figure out what she's supposed to figure out, I guess. I'm not going to push what I believe on her. And, if she thinks she's getting sick, then, she can, I can't say for sure she's not. So anyways, just let things play out, let things go, and not try and push what you believe on somebody else. So let them, whatever is their beliefs, whatever is their thing is what's going to be their thing. So anyways, but it did make me think, like, on all these ships up there, if it was, like, maybe they are trying to hide something. Maybe they are putting this weird stuff. It definitely seemed weird. It seemed so weird. It made no sense. In the color, and it was weird. And it did do a few videos of it, but I don't know, I don't know what's going to be next or what's going to go. They haven't even been talking about the Fort Knox tour. All of a sudden, it's like they get attention on that. And then supposedly they got up there and saved the people. But there's just all these conversations of, them being up there, which is also, they're only 250 miles above us. That just seems weird too. Like all this stuff, like I keep hearing in these conversations, it's all just weird. It's like they're trying to get us to question things. I swear to God, everything is about to get you to question things. Like, that seems very close. 250 miles? Is 250 miles? Like, I'm going to drive that this weekend to go see my kids. And I don't know. I don't know. Just, I almost was like, well, couldn't they just parachute out of there? Like, what the hell? Like, it just, and I'm sure, no, they couldn't parachute out of there. There's weird things, like if you go even up a certain amount and I'm sure it has more to do with the vibration than what we think. We think it's the atmosphere that's like strangling us or something. It's probably the vibration. If we don't meet the same vibration, then, it holds you. And so we're held in this vibrational bubble kind of thing. So, I don't know. I just think there's way more to all of this stuff than what we think. Like, because, when it comes down to it, we don't have to die. Aging's made up. But the whole thing is even when they made up aging, people gave it validity. They gave it life. They turned it into a real thing. And they all started doing it. And they all started aging. They all started going with the program. And so they created it to make it real. And so that's like when you try and tell them, like, aging's not real. Well, it's real to them. They're doing it. And you try and tell them, no, you're making bad lifestyle choices. You're not taking care of yourself like you used to when you were healthy. You got to get back to that version of yourself, back where you used to at some point in your life. Hopefully you took care of yourself. But some people, they never have. And some people have never been taught how. Some people have never been taught that they have any value. So why would they care about taking care of themselves? But that's why we're doing this whole revamp on the people, and why all the people have got to wake up to all these different things to get themselves back to a point in time where they do care about themselves and they want to take care of themselves. And then they're going to all start seeing aging reversing, and they'll start seeing it all going the other direction. And so, we have a lot of things that are playing out. There's still all this stuff with the money. There's still all this stuff with the peace treaties and the directions. That it seems like such a big thing right now over them exposing so much about the blue people and how rotten they are. But I would think it's to get all the mind control people to start seeing like, oh, they are so bad. And I keep following along with them, but you still have it. Like they're still so against, they still got the TDS so strong. And they just, it is the weirdest thing of how upside down and backwards their thinking is. And so, I don't know, it seems like they're, when they're trying to push and show you how rotten the people are that you are supporting, that it's trying to get you to notice, to question it for yourself, and to be like, yeah, what? They are pretty rotten, huh? They are pretty childish, and get you to see it. But it's just this blind following, and then but it goes deeper. It goes deeper into this part of wanting to be accepted. It's like what they want to be accepted for. And they see themselves as they're very virtue signaling. They're very much like they think they're the best. And I literally saw, I think this girl was just trying to point out how ridiculous this stuff is. I don't think she was really believing this. But her talking about the agenda in the blue, where they wanted to push their value system into our society, but the people who are blue feel like the red is trying to push their faith and their beliefs on them. So they're so resistant that they don't really recognize that the other people's agenda is what they're pushing. Like, we're supposed to all accept all of this, this science shenanigans and all of this bullshit. We're supposed to accept that and not question it. And like having faith or believing in something is a bad thing. But then they want us to believe in all this 3D stuff. Like it's just so weird. But they have to see it for themselves. They have to wake up and recognize. And so it seems kind of like that's a big push right now, is to keep exposing how ludicrous and ridiculous and rotten these people are. And so, in it kind of, yeah, because there's lots of weird, weird little subgroups of what they pay attention to. And so a lot of it has to do with idolization. So they pay attention to a lot of weird stuff, what's going with Hollywood. So then that group is going to be shown certain things because the universe is going to be accommodating to all of this. And so all these things are going to be playing out because this is a time of change. This is a time of exposing, a time of seeing what you haven't seen, the unseen to be seen. And so, and everything's micro macro. That's so crazy. Everything is an expansion of everything else. And so anyways, we're at this time of the great reveal of the seeing the truth. And some people need to see the truth of, their blind following, and they follow people that are, well, hopefully they don't feel the alignment that they show in their allegiance, because these people are weirdos, sickos, and they, and it just gets worse and worse. Like, they're teaching kids first graders how to put condoms on so that they can teach them about how a penis ejaculate. Like, what? What? What the fuck? How can a teacher, how can you even go in and think like, oh yeah, I wish I would have learned this in the first grade? It's like, yeah, resist, man, resist. Don't just conform and do what you're told. Like, think about things. Like, Jesus Christ, like, how far will some people go? It's like, I can't imagine. Like, I don't care. I will lose my job. I'm not going in and teaching children how to put on, like, that is sick. Even for them to have a phallic symbol out here, like, oh, look. You probably got video cameras and selling it on the dark web. It's like fucking weird motherfucking shit. Like, it's like our world has turned into fucking the Sodom and Gomorrah, like, for sure. It's like, and they're always so interested in kids and stealing the innocence. Like, they don't want the innocence, the joy, the excitement to be alive. They want to take that away from them. Get them all focused on being sexy and how do I look? You know, it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, you got people talking about like the wardrobe of elementary, and it looks like that it's clothes to go to the club. It's like, why are we dressing our fucking elementary kids in club clothes? And why are the club clothes getting so small? Like, why does everybody feel like they need to reveal all of themselves to the whole world to make themselves acceptable? It's like, no, you're showing you have no respect for yourself. It's like, it's like, give it away, give it away. It's like, get some respect for yourself. You don't have to be throwing yourself out there to be accepted. This world is so dark and distorted, and it's made such a distortion in what people will do, like for attention and stuff. Just like that fucking Olivia Wilde wearing this like a see-through robe into a whatever, some gala or some bullshit, some red carpet event, and she's wearing a fucking robe and G-string, like her ass is hanging out of her underwear thing, and it's like, lady, shouldn't, like, what? You would think like a successful woman who has reached more of the top of her thing doesn't need to be out like getting attention by showing her ass. It's like, you know, have some class, man. Like, have some dignity. What is wrong with our society? Where does it fucking end? Like, I mean, I thought the same thing. They got Dolly Parton out there in her fucking 70s or 80s, which I think she died a long time ago. I think they've had a puppet out there for a while. But when they put her out there on the stage in this little fucking little cowboy cheerleader outfit, it's like, why wouldn't she say no? But she wants, you know, the world to see, like, oh, look, I look good. It's like, why? Why do you need the whole world to see? And then plus, you know, I mean, you're still, I don't know. I guess you still got like this suit, like this, you know, suit, skin color suit in between, like for her stomach thing and stuff. It just seems tacky. It just seems like, you know, a lot more classy. Come out in a blue and white dress or something. Why do you have to come out in your 80s, coming out like in the same thing with Cher and stuff? Same thing with Madonna. It's like, I don't know. There's just this desperate need for attention. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much success. It's just this desperation. Look at me. Somebody, please. Don't stop looking at me. And they're going to fucking freak the fuck out. It's like, I don't know. It's very belittling to yourself. Like, I don't know. But, you know, I don't want to be judgmental of somebody else's desperation. It's there for them to learn about. We're just observing. No, we shouldn't be judging. But anyways, I do have that side of myself of like, what the fuck? So anyways, how long have I been talking? My tooth has been so sensitive too. It's very sensitive. And I don't know, it seems like it's kind of like the cold air or something, but I'll show ya. It's still healing. It's not like it's getting worse and it's starting to break or rot away or something. I still feel like it's healing and getting better. feel like this thing with my eye is healing and getting better. My vision, my sight is getting better. This belly button weirdo thing has gotten better. And so it seems like, was there some other thing? It seems like I've got all these like little weird things that it seems like that the things get better, they don't get worse. And so it's going in the right direction, and I don't need their help, because all they want you to do is take something, and then that little something is going to make something go wrong inside of you. And so then that they've got another little something, another little something, little something, little something, got a lot of little somethings for you. And so, you know, they had me on 18, and it's just like you get sicker and sicker, and it's like, well, got another one. Let's try this. Let's add this in. And then pretty soon you're fucking dying on the couch. And then it's like, okay, wipe clean. Let's get rid of all these. And all of a sudden you start getting better and better. And all these things that you thought you had, you don't have anymore. You just get better and better and better. It's like, and I swear to God, and everybody's got to go through that, because you can tell them. And it's like, well, you know, that's you. But it does have to do with your mind. It has to do, because it's whatever you believe. If you believe whatever you believe, that's going to be your truth. That's going to be what you're going to make sure that that's the way it goes. It's going to happen the way you see it happening, the way you think. And that doesn't mean, because like when I was picturing this going out and stuff, and I was picturing and stuff, you know, I was picturing a lot of different things happening. Well, they didn't happen. I had them in my vision. I was putting them out there, you know, but you cannot force what's not meant to be. And that is another thing too, is with these people who, all this is, you know, the galactic channelers, if they could make this happen, like if you could just make it happen, why haven't they then? Why couldn't they just do it with their mass meditations and their prayers or whatever? Why can't they just make it happen? Because you can't make things happen. It's not meant to happen. Everything has a time and place. And even if you feel like, well, this is going to happen, it's going to happen when it's going to happen. You can't force it to happen. And another thing too is, I feel like that some of the people who, some of these people channel, I feel like that they are kind of, I don't know, tricksters or something, to kind of get us to be like, well, it's never going to happen. Well, this didn't happen. They said it was going to happen. It didn't happen. Now nothing's going to happen. We're just stuck. We're going to go, and then we're going to just tumble out into the negativity of this space. And, you know, it just puts you off on this whole tangent of fear and just defeat. And so it keeps this place churning. It keeps the energy feeding into the dark energy. And so it is that you gotta, you know, stop and not get all caught up into, well, it hadn't happened, so it's never gonna happen. That didn't happen, now it's not gonna happen. And it's like, no, you gotta just let go of it. Because I think like some of these people are channeling something that's there to beat us down like that, to get us to give up, to just be like, well, nothing good's gonna happen. This place isn't magic. And it is. This place is magic. You know, we're gonna learn how to be the magicians soon enough. And so don't let whatever, all these different people, you got to remember, some of them are, you know, channeling, and they feel certain, you know, they're sure this is what's going on, but they're channeling tricksters. They're tricking them. And so, and I will go and listen. I get hopeful for all these dates. We do have one date that Donald's saying, but he's also said some other dates where I've been like, oh, good, something good's gonna, and then it's like, oh, well, that was a real dud. So, but he's saying April 2nd, our whole world's going to change. Everything's changing April 2nd. Well, I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, they've already put, like, I have no idea. Hopefully, it's going to be something big. Hopefully, you know, it will be, I mean, there's so many things that are going to be changing in our lives. Hopefully that starts fucking getting there, and good things start coming our way. And we start getting, you know, like, get rid of all the fucking bills. Like, he's already said he's getting rid of the taxes for people under 150,000. But it's going to get so much better than that. That's only just to get started. It's only to just get people's attention and get a little bit of relief and stuff. I mean, they're still showing so much of this misspending, all this money that is just out there, just in the ethers, and oh, no, we don't even know where that trillion is. And so all of this is, about exposing and showing and the change that's coming. So we have a lot of good things, shifting on the money thing, which I am kind of thinking like I should just go and buy some more silver, like while it's still available, like we still can while it's cheap. It seems like just keep getting ready for what's to come, because things are gonna, and it's gonna be an abrupt kind of thing, like when the dollar crashes, I'm sure it's gonna be like a boom. It's like, fuck, and it's gonna be fuckery to some people, but there will be a group of us who will be cheering, will be super excited, but there's gonna be a lot of other people who are gonna be stressed out. There's gonna be things that are gonna stress them out, like their credit score is gonna just drop, and then they're going to they're going to realize all that money, that time and energy they were putting into something that just all of a sudden just went away. And there's going to be the price of houses, like that's going to really get some people, for their $650,000 house they just purchased, and now it's worth $12,000. What? I put $25,000 down on it. Now it's only worth $12,000. Like, there's gonna be some freak out. Like, you just gotta go with the roll with it. Like some of these people, but it's all for them to shift in their priorities, to realize. And there's a lot of things about this money system and about the hold it's had on us and about the games we played and the money we've spent and everything that's going to be. It's all to make these shifts. It's all to get us to shift gears, to get us to see things that we hadn't seen before. So, but there's going to be some heartache about it. There's going to be some sadness. And I, can relate. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I go through all this stuff that I had bought and stuff from my other house and how it's just left behind. And it's just like, man, there is so much waste. There's so much, I don't know. We all have our own things to go through and to experience, but it is all for a better purpose. It's all for a better reason, because it's creating this different side of ourselves, this more thoughtful, this more deeper side of ourselves that creates a whole new reality. So there's a great purpose to everything going on, even if it seems like it's crazy and chaotic and nobody knows what's happening and everybody's going in all these different directions. It's like, well, I think it's kind of obvious what's happening, but we all have our own perspectives. We all see what we see, and I just see a lot of people don't see a lot of the stuff. They don't see the whole thing. They just get stuck on little things. So the more you see, the more you open your mind, the more you understand. To me, the more you understand about how the spiritual world works and what you're doing here and the cycles that go and how energy works and stuff, that, it takes away the pressure, the fear. And, it's just, we're just going through a cycle and there's nothing to be scared of. And it's going as a positive. There's a real positive thing to this cycle and this change. We're going into a time like we're going to live like the Jetsons in cool-ass houses up on stilts and shit. And we're going to fly around in little cars. We're going to travel to places we've never thought we could go to. We're going to get to have freedom to experience and not have our lives be so controlled. So anyways, it's all good stuff and it's exciting. And so there's nothing to fear, even though they're trying to push fear and push this defeat, like nothing's gonna happen, nothing's happened. Every time I look at the sky, I'm just like, man, today this fucking bitch could open up. Like, it looks crazy. It looks like at any moment it's gonna just go woo. And I don't even know if that's the thing. I do feel like once the domino goes and things start shifting, it's going to be a lot of things. A lot of things are going to start shifting quick. And so things are going to just keep getting better and better and better. But there's going to be a hard part, because it's going to be a lot of people having to let go of things, let go of their whole reality, let go of where they put all their time and all their energy. And so it's going to be a lot of shifting, a lot of realizations, a lot of aha, a lot of hurt feelings of, you know, bad choices that people made. There'll be people who, like, I can't believe I spent all that time working, I just lost all of that. And at the same time, my mom was dying and I didn't go see her. And like, there's gonna be just a lot of stuff, a lot of things where people have to really look at themselves and their priorities. And these shifts are gonna be painful, but they're gonna be good for us. So it's an important time in this world. It's not a time to fear or cry or get beat down. It's a time to just, you know, go headstrong towards figuring out your best version. What's the best, you know, that you want to be? Who do you want to be in this world? And so, anyways, but when you're trying to figure out who you want to be, you got to first off figure out how to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you're going to sabotage yourself. Nothing's going to build up. You're just going to constantly be breaking yourself down. You're going to make bad choices for yourself. So it's vital. It's important through all of these things going on to learn how to love yourself, and then how to love everybody, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.